Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips, and today I'm super excited to be launching my Patreon page. I usually post my weekly vlogs on Friday, but since I knew this was going to go live on Friday, I didn't want to have two videos in one day. I felt like that would be a little much. So the vlog for this week went live a few days ago, so I'll link that below in case you missed it. I'm really looking forward to sharing all the things I have set up over on Patreon for you. But before we get to that, I did want to do almost a little like PSA for some policy changes that Patreon is being forced to implement starting in November. So whether or not you're interested in like signing up for me, this applies to all of Patreon and potentially people you might be subscribed to. Basically, Apple is going to be taking a 30% cut. This is new, a 30% cut of membership fees that are purchased through the iOS app. I will link below to an article on Patreon that goes into all the details of like what that means and what's going on and what you can do to avoid it. But basically, either creators are going to get 30% less than they're used to, or they're going to have to raise their prices to cover this new fee. Long story short though, if you want to avoid Apple getting 30% of your money, you can just not use the app. Don't use the app. Just go on the website and go through the website and it'll be fine. So let's chat actual fun stuff about Patreon. My main goal with my Patreon page is to help facilitate better connections between other writers and to just encourage you further on your publishing journey. And in that vein, I have a couple different options for you to check out. The first way to support me over on Patreon is to join for free. They have a join for free option and I'm using that option. There's a big button on the homepage that literally just says join for free, and different creators do different things with this free option, but what I'm going to use it for is to essentially give you a behind the scenes look at some of the stuff I'm doing during the week, and it also might include some like first to know sort of information. There's certain things happening in certain areas of my writing life that the vlog is coming for it, but it hasn't gone live yet. And so I've shared some things over there already that I haven't shared here yet. You'll know here eventually, but if you want to know now, you can sign up for free. Patreon is set up almost like a blog, essentially, where the creator can post different things. It might be like a literal blog post. It could be pictures, it could be video, whatever. And it just is in like chronological order on the homepage there. And so what I'd like to use that for is to give you a little more like information and insight into what I'm doing more on a daily basis. Like I know in the vlogs, I'm like, I did a bunch of work this week. Now here's what I'm doing this weekend. And you kind of miss some of the weekly stuff because I'm not vlogging usually on a daily basis. That's a little much for, you know, year-round content. But I can give little quick snippet kind of updates over there. So if you join for free, you can get that information. I don't think you even have to have like a Patreon account. You just have to put in your name and email address. In terms of the paid tiers, I have 3 tiers set up at the moment. The first one is just $1 a month. It is Notable Novelists. And this is going to get you a couple different things. In addition to all that behind the scenes kind of content that I just talked about, you will get a personal shout out in one of my videos the month you join. And then every month after that you're signed up, your name will appear in a little title card that I'm going to have in my videos as a thank you to my patrons. Also in that first month, I would be happy to share any kind of links to you that you want in the description of the video where I give you a shout out. That could be a YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok. If you've got a website, if you have books that are out and you want me to link to your books, let me know. I'll put like whatever kind of links you want in the description there. This tier also comes with access to a private Discord server. I'm really looking forward to the Discord, honestly, because I think that's a much easier way to get a chance to communicate with not just me, but other writers, maybe get tips and tricks or help if you're stuck on something, or just general encouragement on the days where you're like, I don't know if I could do this. Like there'll be people there to help you along. I think it's so much easier to chat and get that kind of interaction with other writers on a place like Discord instead of YouTube comments. Like you can have a conversation down there, but it's not like the easiest place to go back and forth. And obviously on Discord, you can share writing memes. The next tier is Wondrous Wordsmiths. This one is $3 a month and it comes with all the stuff I just talked about, plus a few extras. First, I'm giving you the option, you don't have to do this, but if you are willing to share an address with me, I'll be able to send you a handwritten thank you postcard. I found actually some really cute postcards. They're like watercolor pictures of famous bookstores from around the world. Like, how perfect is that? And of course, this is open international too. It's easy to send postcards internationally, unlike other packages, but postcards are super easy, so that is something I can offer to everybody. And who doesn't like getting fun stuff in the mail? The mail is always just bills and like junk. But this wouldn't be. This would be fun. If you're not comfortable sharing an address though, that's totally fine. I can send you a personal thank you email instead. Also for this tier, I'm planning to post my YouTube videos early for you. So you would get access to them basically whenever they are uploaded and ready to view. Typically, honestly, for me, I usually have them ready to go at like Wednesday at the latest. There's some weeks where I have them ready on like Mondays. Like I've edited them, they're uploaded, they're ready. And so as soon as they're ready, I'll post a link to it so you could view it ahead of time. And finally, for this tier, I'm planning to host 2 live streams a month where we can chat, work on our writing, be encouraged, have a hangout time. At least 2 a month. We'll start with 2 and we'll see where we go from there. But we'll be able to chat about maybe what time, day of the week might be best for most people, and we'll try to pick a time that'll be best for everyone. I know time zones can really mess things up, but we'll try to make it as open as possible. The last tier is sensational storytellers. It is a limited tier, which means I've limited the number of people who can sign up for it. It's currently set at 10 people, and it is $7 a month. You will get all of the previous benefits from the tiers that we already talked about, but the big perk for this tier is a critique from me on your writing. Once a month, you'll be able to send me up to 10 pages of whatever you want from your writing, and I will provide a critique for you. This can be anything from like the opening chapter to an outline to character profile sheets, whatever it is that you want a second pair of eyes on, you can submit it as long as it's less than 10 pages. I also have this set up so that you'll be able to kind of customize the type of feedback you get. You might really just want to know what's good about it. What are the positives? I can absolutely only tell you the good things that I see. You might want a little more like tough love, sort of, okay, let's really get into the nitty gritty here. I can do that. You might want in-doc comments, like in a Word doc, you know, where I'm commenting on individual lines. You might just want sort of like overall impressions, a couple paragraphs of what do I think of this as a whole. I have a whole form so that when you're submitting your work, you can kind of tell me what it is that will be most helpful for you. I do want to be very clear that I'm approaching these critiques as a fellow aspiring author. I am not agented, I'm not published, I'm not a book coach, I don't have a master's degree in English or something like that. I'm just another writer, but I have had quite a lot of practice at this point at giving feedback to writers. I, of course, have my own critique partners that I've worked extensively with. I've also beta and alpha read for other writers and given feedback. There's one person in particular where I've read like 4 of her books now, so I think my comments are like pretty good because she keeps asking me to read her stuff. So that's what I'm offering here. This is not supposed to be some sort of professional level critique or feedback. It's just me over here providing some insight for you. Now, you may not have like months and months worth of stuff that you would want to send. Maybe you only have like your first chapter and you really just want somebody to look at your first chapter. You could sign up for this tier for a month and then drop to the second tier or just drop it all together, whatever you need to do. I don't feel like this is a tier where you just sign up for it like forever. Maybe, but I'm kind of thinking like people will come and go from this tier because it's limited. That would then open up spaces for new people to sign up for a month or 2 or whatever they want. I do want to be transparent real quick right before we wrap this video up about the money aspect to all of this. We all work really hard for our money, and I don't feel like most people are giving it away just on a whim. So I do want to let you know, like, where would your money go? So first, Patreon does take a little bit of a cut. It is an 8% cut of whatever it is you give, which I feel like that's fair enough. 8% isn't a huge number. It's better than YouTube channel memberships, which takes 30%. So you're given 8% to Patreon, and then the rest would, of course, come to me. And I really want to be intentional with what I use, whatever amount comes in. I want to be intentional with how I'm using it. I want to use it specifically for writing related stuff, whether that's a new craft book or saving up enough to take a class of some sort. I am not going to use this as like, I'm going to order Uber Eats for myself, or I don't know. It's not going to go to something frivolous. It's going to go to something that will help me be a better writer, hopefully. I do have some different goals, some things I'm thinking about in that area, but I'll share more about that over on Patreon. So that is what I have going on Patreon at the moment. Depending on the feedback I get on this, if I get any feedback or if people have suggestions about things they'd like to see over there, if I think up new ideas that I could include, the tiers and the pricing and the offerings, like that could change in the future, but this is at least where I'm starting with it. So all of that said, if you would like to check out my Patreon, the link, of course, is in the description. Thank you so much for watching and for considering supporting me in this way. It really means a lot. I would love to know if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback of any kind. Let me know in the comments. But for now, I will see you next Friday with a new vlog. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.